Imagine a Mediterranean where two troubled nations, rich in history yet burdened by economic and political uncertainty, finally sign a pact that could unlock billions in energy wealth, reshape regional alliances, and change the future of gas and power in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. This isn't fiction, this is real. Welcome to the dawn of a new chapter, the Lebanon-Cyprus Maritime Border Agreement. Subscribe now to Cyprus Real View and stay with me, because what we're about to explore could redefine energy, geopolitics, and hope itself. Section 1. A historic handshake. The deal is done. A long-awaited agreement is now official. Lebanon and Cyprus have signed a deal to define their maritime border. The signing took place at the presidential palace in Beirut. Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulides and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun put their names on the document. This moment ends nearly 2 decades of waiting and uncertainty. It clears a path for cooperation in the Eastern Mediterranean. The two leaders called the agreement historic. It signals a new chapter for both nations. It also opens the door for potential energy exploration that was stalled for years. For both countries, this is more than just a line on a map. It is a foundation for future prosperity stability. The first talks about this border happened back in 2007. At that time, a draft agreement was reached. However, it was never fully ratified by the Lebanese parliament. Political instability inside Lebanon, regional tensions, other priorities pushed the deal to the side. For years, the undefined border created legal ambiguity. This ambiguity made international energy companies hesitant to invest in the area. They feared that any discovery could lead to disputes over ownership. The recent push to finalize the agreement shows a new sense of urgency, especially for Lebanon, which is facing a severe economic crisis. The signing ceremony was a significant diplomatic event. President Christodoulides said it marked a deeper collaboration, not just between the two countries, but also with the European Union. Cyprus, as an EU member, can act as a bridge for Lebanon. President Aoun highlighted the strong friendship between the two nations. He noted that this deal was not aimed against any other country. Instead, it was designed to be inclusive and to promote shared benefits. The deal is a testament to what diplomacy can achieve, even after many years of delay and deadlock. This new agreement arrives at a critical time for the global energy market. Europe is actively searching for new gas suppliers to reduce its reliance on traditional sources. The Eastern Mediterranean has emerged as a region with significant potential. The Lebanon-Cyprus deal is one more piece of the puzzle falling into place. It follows a similar landmark agreement between Lebanon and Israel in 2022. By clarifying their borders, countries in the region are making it easier for large-scale energy projects to move forward. This could eventually create a new energy corridor connecting the Middle East to Europe, changing the geopolitical landscape for years to come. Section 2. Drawing the line. How the maritime border was defined. The new agreement establishes a clear boundary between the exclusive economic zones of Lebanon and Cyprus. An EEZ is an area of the sea where a country has special rights to explore and use marine resources, including oil gas under the seabed. Without a clear line, both countries could claim the same area. This deal finally removes that major obstacle. It provides the legal certainty that energy companies need before they are willing to spend billions of dollars on exploration drilling. The border is now officially recognized by both governments and under international law. The method used to draw the line is a standard international practice. It is called the median line principle. The border is drawn exactly in the middle, equidistant from the coastlines of both Lebanon and Cyprus. This approach is widely seen as fair. Cyprus used the same method with Egypt-Israel. By using this accepted method, both sides avoided a long and difficult negotiation over special claims. The focus was on a technical solution rather than a political one. This made it easier to reach a final agreement that both sides could accept. This legal clarity is a game changer for exploration activities. Lebanon has divided its offshore area into 10 blocks for oil and gas licensing. Some of these blocks, particularly Block 8, are located near the newly defined border with Cyprus. Previously, companies were reluctant to bid on these blocks because of the border uncertainty. Now they know exactly which country has the authority to grant licenses and collect revenues. This allows them to assess the geological potential of the area without worrying about future ownership disputes. The deal essentially unlocks these promising areas for the first time, paving the way for new seismic surveys, exploratory drilling. It is also important to note what this deal means for the wider region. Lebanon still has an undefined maritime border with its northern neighbor, Syria. Resolving the border with Cyprus simplifies the picture. It isolates the remaining dispute and makes it clear which areas are involved. This step-by-step approach to border demarcation has proven effective in the Eastern Mediterranean. Each agreement builds confidence and provides a model for resolving other disputes. For Cyprus, finalizing its border with Lebanon completes another part of its EEZ puzzle, strengthening its legal position as it develops its own significant offshore gas resources. The clear line helps everyone know where they stand. Section 3. A lifeline for Lebanon, the economic hope. For Lebanon, this maritime deal is about more than just energy. The country has been trapped in one of the world's worst economic crises since 2019. The financial system has collapsed, the currency has lost most of its value, poverty has skyrocketed, the government is bankrupt and desperately needs new sources of revenue. The potential for offshore gas discoveries offers a rare glimmer of hope. If commercially viable gas fields are found, the government could earn billions of dollars from royalties and taxes over the lifetime of the projects. This money could be used to rebuild the country's shattered public services and stabilize the economy. The potential economic benefits are enormous. Initial studies suggest that Lebanese waters could hold between 10 and 25 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. These are estimates. Even a modest discovery of 5 trillion cubic feet could generate over $15 billion in government revenue. This income could help pay for electricity, which is currently in short supply across the country. It could fund schools, it could fund hospitals, it could fund infrastructure projects. Furthermore, the development of a gas industry would create thousands of jobs. This would provide much-needed employment for a young and struggling population, offering them a reason to stay and build a future in their own country. However, it is crucial to remain realistic. Previous exploration in Block 4 did not yield commercial finds. The promising geological data needs to be confirmed by expensive and risky exploratory drilling. This process takes time and money. Companies will need to be convinced that the potential rewards outweigh the risks. Even if gas is found, it will take several years to develop the fields and bring the gas to market. The revenue will not start flowing overnight. The Lebanese people must understand that this is a long-term project, not a quick fix for their current problems. The hope for gas revenue also comes with a major challenge: governance. For decades, Lebanon's political system has been plagued by corruption and mismanagement. Many citizens are deeply skeptical that any future gas wealth will be used for the public good. They fear it will be stolen or wasted by the same political elite that led the country into crisis. To prevent this, Lebanon must establish a transparent and accountable system for managing its petroleum resources, creating a sovereign wealth fund, publishing all contracts, ensuring strong oversight. The success of this energy venture depends as much on good governance as it does on geology. Section 4. Cyprus's strategic gain. An energy hub emerges. For Cyprus, the deal with Lebanon is a key strategic victory. Cyprus has already had success in its own waters. Major discoveries like the Aphrodite gas field. It holds an estimated 4.5 trillion cubic feet of gas. In July 2025, ExxonMobil, Qatar Energy, announced a new discovery called Pegasus 1. Pegasus 1 could add another 3.2 trillion cubic feet to reserves. Finalizing the border with Lebanon protects these assets. It allows more confident exploration near the demarcation line. It removes lingering legal questions and strengthens Cyprus's hand in regional energy politics. The agreement aligns with Europe's broader energy security goals. The EU is urgently trying to diversify gas supplies. The Eastern Mediterranean is seen as a promising new source. As an EU member, Cyprus is positioned to act as a gateway to European markets. By fostering stability and cooperation, Cyprus helps make large-scale infrastructure more feasible. Liquefied natural gas facilities. The deal enhances prospects of a reliable energy corridor to Europe, a goal strongly supported by Brussels. Beyond its own resources, Cyprus can benefit from cooperation with Lebanon. If Lebanon finds gas, the two could pursue joint development. They could build a shared pipeline to export facilities. Cyprus has been in talks with Egypt to use existing LNG plants. A pipeline from Lebanon could connect to this network, creating a more efficient, cost-effective regional system. Cyprus could share technical expertise and offshore experience, helping Lebanon avoid pitfalls as a newcomer. The deal strengthens Cyprus's diplomatic influence. Finalizing a complex maritime agreement shows Cyprus as a stable, constructive partner. It enhances ties with Lebanon and the wider international community. The energy agreement could pave the way for deeper cooperation in trade. Tourism. The success of this energy venture will depend heavily on the decisions of major international oil and gas companies. These are the firms with the capital, technology, and expertise to take on multi-billion-dollar offshore projects. Capital, technology, expertise. Companies like TotalEnergies are already active in the region and are watching developments in Lebanon closely. TotalEnergies, ExxonMobil, Qatar Energy watching developments in Lebanon closely. TotalEnergies, a French company, has previously led exploration efforts in Lebanon's Block 4. and has expressed interest in other areas like the promising Block 8. Their continued involvement will be a key indicator of industry confidence in the country's prospects following the new maritime deal. These big players operate based on a careful calculation of risk and reward. Risk-reward. They are encouraged by the new legal clarity the Cyprus deal provides. However, they are also cautious. The ongoing political instability and security risks in Lebanon and the wider region are major deterrents. In January 2025, TotalEnergies even announced it was reconsidering its operations in Lebanon due to the deteriorating security situation. To bring them back to the table and encourage new investment, the Lebanese government will have to offer attractive terms and demonstrate a stable and predictable business environment. Attractive terms, stable and predictable business environment. This includes strong legal protections for their investments and a clear, efficient regulatory framework. Legal protections, regulatory framework. The competition for investment is global. Lebanon is not just competing with its neighbors, it is competing with every other country in the world that has oil and gas potential. Companies have limited capital and will choose to invest it where they see the best returns for the lowest risk. While European demand for non-Russian gas is strong, that does not mean companies will invest in the Eastern Mediterranean at any cost. They will compare the geology of Lebanon's offshore blocks, the political risks, and the fiscal terms with opportunities in West Africa, South America, or the Gulf of Mexico. Lebanon must make a compelling case that it is a better place to invest than these other regions. The Lebanese government has a crucial role to play in attracting these partners. It must ensure that its licensing rounds are professionally managed and transparent. Despite the optimism surrounding the deal, the path forward is filled with significant risks. The first and most obvious is political instability within Lebanon. The country's government is fragile. Its political factions are often deadlocked. There are already critics inside the Lebanese parliament. They say the maritime deal was rushed and may have conceded too much. Any future political turmoil could delay or derail implementation. For energy companies, political uncertainty is a major red flag. It can lead to policy changes, it can spark contract disputes, it can cause operational disruptions. Security is another paramount concern. The Eastern Mediterranean is a volatile region with unresolved conflicts. Ongoing hostilities on Lebanon's southern border raise risks for offshore work. An oil and gas platform is a vulnerable, high-value target. Escalation could halt work, damage infrastructure, and endanger personnel. Companies will want robust security guarantees from Lebanon. They will likely face very high insurance premiums. The fear of a wider regional war casts a long shadow, making long-term investors think twice. There is also geological risk. Seismic studies look promising, but nothing is certain. The only way to know is to drill. And drilling is costly and often fails. The dry well in Block 4, drilled by Total Energies, is a sober reminder. If more wells come up empty, international interest could fade fast. The hopes of an economic rescue would be dashed, at least short-term. People must prepare for the possibility that the treasure beneath the sea isn't as vast, or isn't there at all. Finally, there's the risk of corruption and mismanagement. That's perhaps the biggest fear for the Lebanese people. Even if big reserves are found, revenue could be squandered or stolen by a corrupt elite. Lebanon's history of poor governance doesn't inspire confidence. To counter this, Lebanon must urgently adopt world-class transparency and accountability. Join international initiatives like the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Create an independent body to oversee revenues, make all contracts and payments public. That's the hard truth. The Lebanon-Cyprus agreement has implications that extend far beyond oil and gas. It represents a significant diplomatic achievement that can strengthen the relationship between the two neighboring countries. For years, they have shared close cultural ties and commercial ties, and this deal builds on that foundation. It opens the door to enhanced cooperation on a wide range of issues. For example, they can work together on maritime security, coordinating their coast guards on search and rescue operations and combating smuggling. They can also collaborate on environmental protection, managing fish stocks, protecting the marine ecosystem that they both share. The deal also creates opportunities for new joint economic projects. One of the most discussed ideas is an electricity interconnection between Cyprus and Lebanon. Lebanon suffers from chronic power shortages, while Cyprus is looking for ways to integrate its grid with its neighbors. A subsea cable connecting the two countries could provide Lebanon with a more stable source of electricity and create a new market for Cypriot power producers. The two governments have already welcomed talks on this project and plan to seek support from the World Bank for a feasibility study. This kind of practical cooperation can deliver tangible benefits to citizens in both countries. For Lebanon, strengthening its relationship with Cyprus provides a vital link to the European Union. As a full EU member, Cyprus can be a powerful advocate for Lebanon in Brussels. This could lead to increased financial aid, favorable trade agreements, and greater support for Lebanon's economic recovery and institutional reforms. President Aoun specifically mentioned his hope that this agreement would help advance the EU-Lebanon strategic partnership. In a region where Lebanon often feels isolated, a strong and reliable partnership with an EU neighbor is an invaluable strategic asset. It helps anchor Lebanon to the west. Ultimately, this agreement is a powerful example of successful conflict resolution through diplomacy. It shows that even long-standing and complex disputes can be solved through patient negotiation and a focus on mutual benefit. This sends a positive message to the entire region. It provides a model for how other unresolved border issues, like the one between Lebanon and Syria, might be tackled. By choosing cooperation over confrontation, Lebanon and Cyprus are not just helping themselves, they are contributing to a more stable and predictable Eastern Mediterranean. Each successful agreement of this kind reduces regional tensions and builds a foundation for a more prosperous and peaceful future for all. Well, that's the hopeful angle. So if you start, the signing of the Lebanon-Cyprus Maritime deal is a moment of genuine hope. It provides the legal clarity needed to unlock potential energy resources that could transform Lebanon's economy and aligns with Europe's strategic interests. The agreement opens the door for new investments, job creation, and vital government revenue. For a country like Lebanon, which has endured so much hardship, this represents a rare opportunity to chart a new course towards stability and prosperity. The positive momentum generated by this diplomatic success should not be underestimated. It is a vital first step on a long and challenging journey. However, this hope must be tempered with a strong dose of realism. The promises of the deal will not be realized overnight. The process of exploring for offshore gas, developing offshore gas, producing offshore gas is long, is expensive, and is risky. There is no guarantee of success, and even in the best-case scenario, it will be many years before any significant revenue begins to flow. The public must be patient and understand that this is not a quick fix. The journey from a signed paper to gas flowing in a pipeline is measured in years, not months. The ultimate success of this venture will depend on good governance. For Lebanon, this is the most critical challenge. The country must prove that it can manage its potential resource wealth responsibly and transparently. This means creating strong, independent institutions to oversee the sector, adopting anti-corruption laws, and ensuring that the benefits are shared fairly among all citizens. Without these safeguards, the discovery of gas could easily fuel more corruption and inequality, making the country's problems worse. The international community, along with Lebanese civil society, must insist on these reforms as a condition for their support. The resource belongs to the people, and they must be the ones who benefit. In conclusion, the Lebanon-Cyprus maritime deal is a beginning, not an end. It creates an opportunity, but it does not guarantee a positive outcome. The path forward requires careful planning, sustained political will, a secure environment, and an unwavering commitment to transparency. It requires partnership between governments, international companies, and local communities. The sea holds a promise, but it is up to the people on shore to turn that promise into a reality. The hard work starts now. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives like this on Cyprus, the Eastern Mediterranean, and geopolitics, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next on Cyprus Real View. Thanks for watching, and remember, the sea holds more than water. It holds opportunity. Lebanon and Cyprus have just ended nearly 2 decades of maritime limbo and formally agreed on the delimitation of their exclusive economic zones in the Eastern Mediterranean, signed at the Presidential Palace in Ba'abda, Beirut, on November 26, 2025, by Lebanese President Joseph Aoun and Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulidis. So, stay tuned. Because in the coming months and years, what unfolds under the Mediterranean waves might well shape the future of an entire region.